I see a better Africa.
Of all the continents in the world, Africa is the most despised. It is the most looked down upon. And on the contrary, if we look closely, Africa is the richest continent in terms of mineral wealth. It is the richest in terms of age. With a mean age of between 16 and 17 years, Africa is the youngest continent in the world. And where over 60%, if not about 70% of the population in Africa are young people below the age of 35. And this is a wealth that Africa can capitalize on. We do not need world bodies. We do not need NGOs. We do not need outsiders to help us realize our potential. We have all the resources. We have all the raw materials that we require as Africa to make ourselves prominent and take our rightful place. We can create a better Africa. And how can we do that?
Africa with justice and equity. A better Africa with no pain. A better Africa with love and peace. A better Africa with justice and equity. All we have to do is work for it. All we have to do is strive for it. All we have to do is fight for it. A better Africa. All we have to
So looking at Africa, the current challenges that we have, for example, we'll start from home. Economic crisis. We have economies that are shaky, that are not strong. Apart from the richness that we possess, we have a political crisis in Africa generally. You know, we hear this country has a coup, genocides in other countries. Mozambique seems to be returning into a civil war. You know, a lot of things are happening in Africa, and when we trace all of them to really look at what is causing Africa to be in this quagmire, we go back to the basics, leadership. When we begin to be intentional about reconstructing and building leadership, that's when we begin to build Africa. We need to empower young people in schools and universities on leadership. And our current leadership needs to be intentional about succession plans. It should not be sacred to talk about succession in African leadership. It should not be sacred to talk about opposition in African leadership. It should not be sacred to talk about power in the African setting, because the Africa that we want is going to be built when we begin to cultivate the culture of tolerance, respect, love, unity, irrespective of the various differences that we may possess. So, how are we going to build the better Africa that we want? The first thing is we need to redefine leadership in Africa. We need to see opposition and ruling parties sitting together, talking, mapping a way forward, knowing that their differences are not as valuable as the common good of the nations that they lead. We need to redefine business. Business should be established on principles of production and benefit to society and communities that provide that businesses. Mining should benefit its people within the country that provides those minerals. So there are a lot of constructs that we need to speak about around leadership if we are going to see a better Africa. We also need the church to take its rightful place. We are tired of an Africa where people do unbelievable things in the name of religion. We need Africans to begin to use reason. We need Africans to begin to use their mind when it comes to religion, when it comes to politics, when it comes to business. There is no other way apart from hard work, apart from consistency, apart from positive and constructive values if we are going to build. How can we take advantage of the young people that we have to create a better Africa? How can we capitalize on the minerals that we so vastly have in order for us to create a better Africa? We should get to a point where Africa must mine its own minerals, process its own minerals, and bless other continents after it has developed its own raw materials. We are looking at an Africa that must take advantage of the youth. It's unfortunate that it's other people who come up with the descriptions of our identity. You know, people have defined the youth bulge from outside, but we are Africa. When we talk and steal that word youth bulge, we are looking at potential. Youths are potential. Young people means potential. These are the people who can transform the leadership in our countries. These are the people who can transform the business environment in our countries. These are the people who are full of ideas of innovation, entrepreneurship, and everything that we need to create a better Africa. So there is need for us to harness the youth population and make sure that we invest in them, grow them, and empower them to create the Africa that we dream. There is need for us to push our young people into the mining sector, into the leadership space, so that they tap in and create the Africa that we dream of. This is how we can take advantage of who we are, what we have, and we cannot wait for old people from outside who have made money to come and give us money in order for us to grow Africa. No. Our young people each can contribute to the GDP that we so seek to create and make in our own countries. This is how we can harness our potential.
A better Africa is imminent. It's unavoidable. It's unstoppable. And our young people will make it happen.
A better Africa. I see a better Africa. The dream is vivid and tangible, and it will come to pass. I see an Africa. Not far from now, far much better than the Africa we have today. An Africa no longer built by the dictates of our colonizers, but by us and for us. I see an Africa that feeds on its resources and share with the world and beyond. The better Africa shall mine its own resource and not China nor Russia. It shall process its own diamond and gold and not Europe nor America. It shall, as it should be in control of its own resources, and not a victim and a slave to Kimberley process. Africa's land shall no more be cursed. Its crops shall yield tons and its hands shall feed its people. I see a better Africa who won't receive donation from its produce. I see a better Africa whose leaders shall lead with wisdom, whose leaders shall rise on integrity, whose presidents and ministers shall honor and love their people. They shall no more incarcerate nor harm those that differ in opinion. No more shall they murder for the throne, not fight for their good. Rather than their hearts and burden shall be the people they lead. I see a better Africa who shall teach the nations on democracy. She shall set an example of justice and equity. Who shall shelter refugees and counsel foreign nations. I see a better Africa. I see a better Africa who shall be honored in reality. The UN, who and all the world's bodies shall seek her word in leadership. No more shall she fight for recognition, for they shall need her for them to be recognized. I see a better Africa whose leaders won't be bought with money and gold, nor be silenced by the gifts and kickbacks. An Africa whose leaders will not sell their heritage for offshore accounts and beach properties. I see a better Africa free from debt and their heads borrowing. An Africa that does not cry for borrowing privileges, but builds its own industries and people. They shall flock to seek business in the better Africa. Africa's children and grandchildren shall return home with pride. Lesotho shall thrive on its vast water resources. Botswana shall lend from the diamond and animal reserves. Zimbabwe shall dominate from its multiple mineral and agriculture wealth. Mozambique, South Africa, and Tanzania's ports shall send and receive minerals and goods and build the African well. I see a better Africa whose youth bulge is an asset, not a liability. An Africa whose youth shall be its pride in the sports arenas. Its youth shall build and grow its industries. I see a better Africa that shall use reason in its religion and business. I see a better Africa. I see a better Africa of love, peace, and prosperity. I see a better Africa proud of its cultural values, an Africa with willing to throw away its foundation of Ubuntu. Ubuntu. Not even for theories of homosexuality and immoral human rights, an Africa with wisdom to separate good and destructive modernization. I see a better Africa of tolerance, respect, and humanism of Ubuntu. A better Africa is imminent. It's unavoidable. It's unstoppable. Our young people will make it happen. Ubuntu. A better Africa.